Mr. Zelensky, in my judgment, and please, of course, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Zelensky had had no hope either for a long time without drawing the United States in much further than the United States seemed willing to go. And that didn't work. And that doesn't worry the Israelis as far as you can tell.
Again, with these neoconservatives, made a huge push for the United States to invade Iraq under the Bush administration, the second Bush administration. Although Iraq obviously had nothing to do with 9/11, it wasn't a threat. I was in the Middle East at the time, wasn't a threat to its neighbors or much less to us, in the same way that Iran is not threatening its neighbors or threatening us. So that's the difference. That the power of the Israel lobby and the lust. I mean, let's be clear that these neoconservatives have just orchestrated debacle after debacle, fiasco after fiasco, and they're not all these generals and the CIA and these celebrity pundits that cheerlead war and these neoconservatives and the Zionists. They're not about to take credit for the debacles. They're going to blame it. And who do they blame it on? In Iran. In fact, what they did by destroying Iraq as a unified country, which is what they did over 20 years of occupation, is they destroyed the balance in the Middle East between a powerful Iraq and a powerful Iran, and they made Iran ascendant. In fact, the government in Baghdad is Shiite dominated and closely allied with Iran, completely upending the very purpose that we went into Iran. I mean, remember when they went in, they spread this fantasy that they would implant democracy in Baghdad and it would emanate outwards across the Middle East, especially to Tehran. And the goal was always to bring down Tehran. Well, that's especially true now because they've demonized Iran for all of their own failures. And they have this kind of fantasy that somehow if they can take the Iranian regime out, they can. I mean, let's be clear. These people are historically, linguistically, culturally illiterate. They don't know anything about the Middle East. And that's the game they're playing. But these people live in a non-reality based belief system just to believe that they were going to go into Iraq and be greeted as liberators and the oil revenues would pay for the reconstruction and you would build a Western-style democracy in Iraq. All of this was a utopian dream, if we want to quote Thomas More, and the way he used it literally as no place. It doesn't exist on the reality-based map. And these are the same people that are pushing a war with Iran, which I think ultimately over the long term will be catastrophic, not only for the United States if they get involved, but for Israel